Hello everyone, after a bit of a false start, welcome to another episode of Andy's Shared Live. Forget what that says it's episode 11. But it's not, it's actually episode 12. Hello. Sorry again about the bit of a false start that we've had today. We've had some technical issues, shall we say. Never install an update on your computer, it makes things go strange. But yeah, hello, welcome to the show. Sorry we weren't around last week, but we are back. Mad, bad and dangerous to know this week. And look, I've got something interesting in front of me. Something a little bit unusual here today. And if the sound's off, it's because we've had to move things around here so we can get all this where it ought to be. And I can't see the screen over this. But yeah, it's because we've had to shift things around as I say, because we've got something a little bit different here today, because we've got this thing here. Now, I went down to Hunstanton last week, not this week just gone, but the week before, and collected this together with various other things. Basically what happened, I'll tell you the story. I won a couple of pyramid phones in Hunstanton. A couple of old GPO, what they now call pyramid phones, 100 and 200 series phones. Just a couple of them with the bell sets. And I was hoping I was going to get a bell set 25 out of it, but I didn't. But that's another story. But while I was there picking them up, my eBay wins, as so often happens when you go and pick stuff up that you've won on eBay, the guy said, I've had these other things listed and nobody showed any interest in them. Would you be interested in them? And one of the things that he had listed was this. This is a old switchboard. If I can turn it round so you can see it. Right, I'll get this right the way around now in the on the old camera. Alright, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. We'll do our best. So if I can tilt this camera down a bit, you'll then be able to see what we're talking about here. So yeah, this is the switchboard that I won, and it's in pretty good condition. It's what they call a doll's eye switchboard. And it is model, if I refer to the paperwork that I've got down here, it is model number CB935, this. It's an old GPO built thing, and it was for one incoming exchange line, 3 extensions and an operator's telephone. So it would have been used in like a small business, perhaps, where there might have been a secretary who might have sat there with this on her desk, and then the boss might have had a phone, the accounts person might have had a phone in their office, and there might have been a phone down the factory floor or something like that. So that's basically what this is. So it's got an exchange line here. It's got 3 extensions here, 3 internal extensions, and an operator's telephone, which is this switch here. Now, if you want to know how these work, I'm not entirely sure because I've not had this wired up yet. But the best that I can gather is this row of buttons, basically pretty much forget about them. This row of switches, this bottom row, just forget about those for a moment. Concentrate on the top row. Forget about this one. This is a night service switch. So forget about that one for a minute. So you were looking at these 5 buttons, 5 switches rather, across here. So you've got a switch here for your exchange line coming in. This is your exchange line switch here. Okay, so this is for your exchange line coming in, and you can move it either way. It sort of is spring loaded, so it goes back to the centre off position, but you can move it either way. And so that's your exchange line. These three are connected to your three telephones in your business, and this is the operator's telephone. So this one would be on the desk where the actual unit is. Okay? Now the basic rule is when you throw two of these switches in any direction, it connects those two things. So to connect the operator's telephone to the exchange line, you can put them both down. But equally, you can put them both up. To connect the exchange line to extension 2, let's say, you do that. Or perhaps that. Now where this gets quite interesting is if you've got, let's say you've got extension 3 connected to the exchange line. So let's say somebody's called in, which would have made this drop down to say that there was an incoming call. So, and they've gone through, you've put them through to extension number 3 there. Okay? If extension number 1 now wanted to make a call, this little thing here, what they call the doll's eye, would drop down. Okay? But you can't put them through because you break into their conversation. The conversation that the exchange line, the incoming call, is having with extension 3. So what you would do when one wants to make an outgoing call, you'd pick up your operator's telephone, which you'd have on the desk. You'd flick that one up, and you'd also flick that one up, which is operator's telephone. So now the operator, i.e. me, yeah, can pick up the phone and say, I'm sorry, I've not got a line for you at the moment. I'll give you a buzz when I've got a free outside line. Okay, and that extension then goes away, and the operator can go back to the off position as well. If the operator wants to eavesdrop on this conversation that's going on, he just puts his switch down like that. Okay, so that's how you do it. But how do you ring the extensions? Well, that's these buttons on the bottom here, all these switches on the bottom here, really. So let's say a call comes in. This will drop down here. There's a little lever at the top of there that holds, that is activated by a little electromagnet with the AC current from the incoming call. It flips that up and that drops down. So you know you've got an incoming call on line 1. So operator's telephone down, exchange line down. Operator picks up the phone and says, hello, who'd you like to speak to, whatever. And they say, can you put me through to extension number 2 please? So you go, yes, certainly. So then you put that down, which is the hold exchange. Now, I think I'm right in this. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That has now held this incoming call, but they can't hear what you're saying anymore. So you can now ring with one of these 3, and you notice these switches are spring loaded and come back up on their own. You can ring, let's say you're ringing extension 2 there, so you go ring, 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 ring. Extension 2 will answer, the doll's eye will drop down. So you then put extension 2 down and say, I've got Joe Bloggs on the line for you, do you want to talk to them? And they go, yeah, put them through. So in which case you just go, oh, go connecting you now. Take the operator's phone off and they are now connected. It's that simple in theory. Now I believe that's how it works. Many years ago I worked on a switchboard, which was sort of next one on from these. It was a kind of plasticky version of this thing that came out in the 60s. But it worked on a fairly similar principle to this. But that was a good many years ago. So I'm looking forward to getting this wired up and trying it out. The technology on the inside of this is quite something to behold. And if you want to see inside it, I will be making a video and sticking up on YouTube about this and about wiring it up quite soon. So this is the switchboard, and it is mega heavy, and I mean mega heavy. In fact, I'm going to put it down here out of the way now because it's sort of getting in my way. So just excuse me for a moment while I give myself a hernia. Oh, it is so heavy. What I didn't tell you about there was a little winder on the side for ringing. When you actually want to ring a internal extension, what you have to do is wind a little handle on the side as well. So you have to hold the key down and wind a handle. So when you press one of those ring levers down, there's a handle to wind as well. We never said it was easy, did we? Right, okie dokie. So that's that. So that is one of the things that came from Hunstanton, from Sunny Honey, as my friend Louise used to call it, a couple of weeks ago. If you want to see some of the other stuff that we got from Sunny Honey, hang on, I'll find it. Here is one of the things that we got. This is a what they now call a King Pyramid phone, a GPO King Pyramid. This is interesting because they were never called pyramid phones back in the day. It's a relatively modern title to them, and it's a King Pyramid because it's got the bell set underneath it. I didn't get it like this. I got it all in bits, and I've reassembled it with the bell set back underneath it, which is, I think, how it was in service. But it does need a few electrical connections cleaning up and a few little bits and pieces inside it before we can get it properly working. But this is one of the pyramids. This is the King Pyramid from Hunstanton. And this is another thing that came from Hunstanton. On the back of here, this is one we quite like. This is a battery telephone off the railway. So it goes on the wall like that. Made by Ericsson, although the handset on this one actually says Siemens underneath it in the middle there. But these are generally made by Ericsson, so I think somebody's just changed the handset on this one. But these worked on a 12 volt battery. Actually a 12 volt battery and another battery that was about 4 volts as well. They have to have two batteries in them. But they were for point-to-point communications on the railways. They're not exactly rare, but they're not exactly common either. Railway people collect them, as well as people who collect telephones. People who collect railway stuff as well collect these. So you can get them. People say, how much are they worth? Well, you will see on eBay people selling stuff for ridiculous amounts of money. I'll tell you now, for all this lot, I paid 50 quid for the whole lot. So that was for two pyramids, one of which is the King Pyramid, the other one's got the bell set with it, this, and the switchboard, 50 quid. So don't get ripped off when people are trying to charge you like £150 for a pyramid phone, because it's just excessive. You don't need to pay that kind of money. You're better off getting a cheap one and then paying a bit of extra money if it's not working to get an expert to get it working for you. That would be a better option in my humble opinion anyway. Right, okie dokie. So there we have it. That almost wraps it up for today, except for one thing. I've been car booting this morning at Abbeydale Picture House in Sheffield, and I've got this, which is a Philips blank reel-to-reel tape. Look at that. How good is that? Now, the problem is, I've not got a reel-to-reel tape player to play one of these. So if anybody out there has got a reel-to-reel tape player and you're sort of somewhere near to Chesterfield in Derbyshire, or Bolsover in Derbyshire, where we are based, or somewhere near Sheffield, where we go to quite a lot, please do get in touch if you wouldn't mind if we either borrowed your tape player or nipped around with this, because I've got a feeling there might be something on this. Although it's a blank cassette box, you know, was sold as a blank tape, I've got a feeling there's going to be something on this. And I'm just intrigued, and for 50p at the car boot sale, if I see anything like this, any sort of old format media, anything like this, and anybody who knows me will know the saga of the U-matic video machine as well, which is one to tell you another day. But I always buy old format stuff because I'm always intrigued by what might be on it. So if any of you are sort of around the North East Derbyshire or South Yorkshire area and you've got a reel-to-reel tape machine that might play this, then please do get in touch through the website, please, or through the comments on YouTube. The website is here. It's andyshed.corepress.net. That's andyshed.corepress.net. And that is the place to go and find our back episodes as well. Another thing to tell you before I go is this car boot sale that I went to today was here at this place, Abbeydale Picture House on Abbeydale Road in Sheffield. It's a fantastic old building, still a working cinema, but it needs some massive refurbishment. They do all kinds of things, not just cinema stuff there. It's now run, well, it's operated, it's owned by, I think one guy bought it for not a lot of money a few years ago when nobody quite knew what to do with it. But it's actually operated by a group called CADS, C-A-D-S, and they kind of operate various spaces in Sheffield that are like workspaces, office spaces, and also event venues and things like that. Find out more about CADS by going to cads-online.org. That's cads-online.org, because they are doing an appeal at the minute, because they are trying to raise whatever it says on there, £35,000 to refurbish Abbeydale Picture House so they can use it every day, because at the minute they can't use it all the time because they have to get a license of some sort. I'll read you what it says on here. It says, the Abbeydale Picture House is an iconic building in Sheffield, a historic hub for entertainment and events. It now needs your help to thrive. It says, CADS are working towards a full restoration and developing an exciting, culturally diverse events programme for years to come. Phase 1 in our restoration programme is to obtain a premises licence, enabling us to host events every day. In order to do this, we need several expensive works doing to the building, and we cannot restore this historic building without your help. We are launching both a crowdfunder on May the 7th, that's a bit late because we are in June now, and hosting a programme of unique events. And like I say, then they've got an email address on the bottom of there as well. I don't know if you can see that, but it is relaunch the picture house at cads-online.org if you want to drop them an email, or they're on the crowdfunder, www.crowdfunder.co.uk/Abedale Picture House, or hashtag relaunch the picture house. So I just thought I'd give them a plug because I've been to see them today. A very nice chap from CADS took me upstairs to the picture house to have a look at a couple of the old projectors that they've got up there. Just fantastic, the old projectors. They project stuff digitally now. And I was saying to him, why don't you get these old projectors going instead of doing all this digital nonsense? Because it'd be like just better. Because there's something about a movie when it's projected on a proper film projector. It's different. Digital projectors are not the same. But yeah, so yeah, Abedale Picture House, well worth a visit. They have a car boot sale basically pretty much every month. They don't have one in August, don't have one in January, but every other month, first Sunday of the month, they have a car boot sale there, which helps raise funds and that as well. So get in touch with them and get along. Like I say, I went along to the car boot sale there today. Great. So thought we'd just have a little bit of a plug for them. Right, that about wraps it up for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who has been subscribing and that just recently. We are still looking for more subscribers. We are still nowhere near that magic 1,000 subscriber mark. And we also need more viewers as well, because we've got to stay above this 240,000 watch minutes every year as well. Otherwise YouTube will have our necks. So if you've not watched through our playlists on YouTube, when you go to bed tonight, leave your computer running, but leave it playing one of our playlists. You can go back through back episodes of Andy's Shed Live. There is a playlist that just has the back episodes of this show on. If you leave that running, that will really boost our watch time quite nicely. So if you're going to leave your computer on, make sure you leave it playing one of our videos, and that will be a big help to us if you can do that. But also remember, like, and most importantly of all, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon if you want notifications when we do a new video or when we do a new live stream. If you don't want to be notified, because I understand that if you subscribe to a lot of things, you might not want to be notified every time somebody puts something new out, because you do ping all the time. Then just don't hit the bell icon if you don't want to be notified, and then you won't get disturbed. But please do subscribe, because those subscriber numbers help us. We need to reach 1,000 subscribers, and we need to maintain 240,000 watch minutes per year, which is not bad. It's doable, but we have just dropped below that threshold in the last couple of months. I look at it monthly, and we have dropped below that threshold, which means in the remaining months we've got to be a bit above the threshold to average it out throughout the year, sort of thing. So we need to do that. And equally, if there's anybody in the area on YouTube who wants to do any collabs with us, who does similar sorts of things to what we do here at Andy's Shed Live, get in touch with us. That all-important website, once again, andyshed.coldpress.net. You'll find a contact form on there. When we're going to give the website a makeover in the next couple of weeks as well, so you'll see some new content up there very soon. But from me, for now, that is about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with us with the technical issues that we had at the start of the show. And until next week, see you soon.